Good morning, everyone. My name is Jared Schroeder. I am the Deputy Fire Center Manager for the Kamloops Fire Center here in the area. Currently, I'm supporting the Incident Management Team, the EOC, and our local efforts, acting as a liaison, administrative liaison to the ICS command structure, ensuring that our IMT that's managing the incidents here in Central Okanagan are getting the support they need, as well as acting as that piece to work with all of our partner agencies here in the Central Okanagan to support the efforts ongoing. I'll echo the comments quickly made by Chair Loyal here and just really want to express some gratitude and some thanks and recognition and acknowledgement to all the standing public, standing government agencies, local agencies, First Nations, everybody here in the Central Okanagan and province-wide for the support they've shown to our first responders, our firefighters, all of our support and service workers, even those behind the scenes, those who are working on invoicing and every other piece of the program that goes to ensure that our residents are getting the information they need, are getting the alerts and orders as quick as we can get them to them, and that they are getting those thoughts and feelings of being safe and that we are able to move them as needed. So thanks to everybody and all of your contributions in support of what's going on here. This has been a difficult time here in the Kamloops Fire Center with the recent passage of the cold front, which is really what fanned these incidents to life. Currently, that cold front has made its passage into the prairies, but we are still feeling those lingering effects, the drying, the wind, the growth of the fire, and the continued growth that we expect to see in the coming days. Now, we are seeing a slight decrease in temperatures, which is going to help our firefighting efforts. That brings us more back to that seasonal normal kind of temperatures, but we are still into some critically dry conditions and are still expecting difficult days ahead. And that is not to take anything away from the extremely difficult days that we've had in the last couple of days. Last night, we had a number of overnight operations ongoing with BC Wildfire Service crews and our partnering agencies here across the region. Their efforts are primarily focused on following the fire front and supporting evacuations and structure protection efforts as needed. Today, that fight continues. We've got resources in the numbers of over 200 here today, with more coming daily to continue to support those evacuation, the structure protection efforts that are ongoing, and as well providing those supports to the residents here in the Central Okanagan. Unfortunately, smoke conditions do still linger. They are a little bit lighter this morning, but we anticipate to continually deal with limited visibility and limited smoke conditions here in the valley. That does not mean that our aviation assets aren't working. They currently are, and they continue to do so as long as it is safe for them to fly, and there's objectives and work that they can be done, that they can take in order to meet the objectives we have in order to continue to provide the services that we need to provide the safety and maintain those critical egress and evacuation routes. Speaking of that, just kind of going through our priorities for the day is maintaining those egress routes for residents, as well continuing on with evacuation, providing structure protection. Both chiefs will speak to that here shortly, and I'll leave that them to speak to in more detail. Crews will be setting up that additional structure protection in priority areas and extinguishing active fire near homes. That's the priority for the day. Again, into those overnight periods, we find ourselves more in following that active fire front. There's two more things I'd really like to touch base on here quickly as we expand this incident. We are receiving, again, numerous resources from out of province as well to bolster our efforts. Our incident management team, is in place, and that those ranks have been bolstered with some out of province resources, which is a great benefit to us. We will be operating in a 24-hour operation cycle as we have been. Going forward, I really want to stress the real successes that we've seen from a real operational standpoint in how we've been able to connect with every partnering agency here in the Central Okanagan, whether it be structural protection, whether it be our partnering firefighting agencies, RCMP, BC Hydro, the list is endless and goes on and on. Our coordination efforts specifically with our partnering fire agencies has been absolutely excellent. We are deeply engaged at an operational standpoint in a joint response effort, and I couldn't be more proud of the efforts that our incident command structure, the Central Okanagan as a greater whole, the communities of West Kelowna, and everywhere else within this valley has really been exemplary, and I want to applaud the efforts of every single one of those staff. for what everybody's been able to contribute to providing safe passage, safe notice, and our ability to work in a dynamic environment across an incredibly complex network of avenues and roads and hills and backsides and front sides to do what we can to save and protect as much as we can. That's it.
And next, if I could please ask Jason Brolin, West Kelowna Fire Chief, to come on.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I think it's become evident that this event is going to leave a long, lasting scar on our community. But I am already seeing how our community is coming together, and you know, I'm looking forward to the continued progress, and this scar will become a good one at the end of the day when this is all over. So I'm going to take some time to share some stories and to talk about the good work that's being done out there in the field. I don't have a lot of specific numbers, but we have great people who can get those for you. Today on the ground, we are an army out there. I'm going to speak about the structural firefighting personnel when I say that. We have 127 structural firefighters working the day shift today. There are 41 fire trucks, and they were all parked in front of my office this morning. We have fire departments from Williams Lake, Ladysmith, Mission, Sunshine Valley, Quesnel, Cherry Creek, Canyon Lister, Merritt, Logan Lake, Chilliwack, Surrey, Ferndale, Sprout Lake, Big White, New Westminster, Vancouver, White Rock, Oyster River, Mill Bay, Kamloops, Saanich, Popcom, Summerland, West Kelowna, View Royal, Courtney, Kelowna, Burnaby, Victoria, Cowichan, North Cowichan, and the BC Wildfire Service. We're providing 3 meals a day for 250 people. The incident command post is located in West Kelowna, and all of these 127 structural personnel, 41 fire apparatus, are operating from there. And there are more to come. This operation continues to grow. As I said, we are truly an army. How do I begin to thank all of the fire chiefs who have sent their people and equipment? I don't know, but I'm going to use this venue to say to those fire chiefs from these 41 different places, thank you. I will find a way to pay you back for the help that you're delivering to me and my fire department today. As I mentioned, West Kelowna is fully engaged in the firefight. We have 5 of those fire engines staffed by our career professional fighters as well as our paid on-call force. We continue to respond to all of the local calls in the community, the heart attacks, the rescues, and this morning a structure fire unrelated in the Glen Rosa neighborhood as well. So as I mentioned, I'm going to tell a few stories. Over the past couple of nights, the fire has approached our new Rose Valley water treatment plant. This is a $75 million building where the construction is nearly completed and the water is almost flowing. It's a piece of critical infrastructure that's going to make an immense difference to our community when it gets turned on. And we were not going to let it burn down. The fire burned over the treatment plant last night, but I'm happy to report that it was saved and undamaged. The treatment plant was saved because of the actions of firefighters from the BC Wildfire Service and all of the structural fire departments that are deployed. $10,000 worth of sprinklers and pumps that were put on that building over the last 2 days saved a $75 million asset. And I am incredibly devastated by the loss, but I want to share with you the good news that's happening out there. When this fire is over, we're going to be able to pick back up and get that water plant turned on. I want to share a story from yesterday afternoon. Yesterday again was one of the most difficult days of firefighting our department has ever faced. Our crews were sent to a street in West Kelowna, and they found 3 houses were burning, all next to each other. And the fire was expanding up the hill. It was threatening hundreds of homes above those 3. And we had multiple fire engines involved in combating 3 single-family house fires, which on a normal day for us is a massive operation. These firefighters fully engaged and fought that fire. But as an example of the coordination that the BC Wildfire Service had mentioned earlier, at the same time our crews were fighting it on the ground, their crews were flying above in helicopters dropping water on the same fire. This is unprecedented firefighting tactics that are taking place out there because of the cooperation. For us to be supported from the air the way that we were and to result in a save of hundreds of homes like that is just absolutely amazing, and it's a prime example of what's happening out there. We also faced very complex situations along West Side Road, particularly where it meets Highway 97. This is a neighborhood that is growing and expanding. There are chlorine gas storage there for the pumping station, which supplies clean drinking water. But there's also a number of mobile home parks where the trailers are placed close together, and a number of newly constructed 6-story condominium buildings, residential apartments. And the fire was being fought on the ground in that neighborhood to protect this. And we are just, it's unprecedented. We are not used to fighting wildland fire against 6-story condominium buildings. But the saves that were made are just absolutely unprecedented. Last night we had a reprieve, but I'm cautious in saying that because it wasn't a reprieve. We were still fighting tens or multiple structure fires at the same time across the community. So to call that a reprieve is just, it boggles my mind. The winds died down. We didn't see the dramatic glow in the sky necessarily in as many places as we had the night before. So I guess if you could call that a reprieve, it was, but don't think for a second that it wasn't totally unprecedented last night after a totally unprecedented day of firefighting yesterday. I'm sad to report that we lost multiple structures yesterday again within the city of West Kelowna. Today, the firefight continues on the ground. When I drove the fire this morning briefly, there was 2 locations that I came upon where immediate action, putting out a very small fire, meant that we saved homes just by literally dumping a small tank of water on these homes. So today the firefight is on again out there. I want to talk a bit about the risks that the firefighters face, because normally when we fight a house fire, it's contained to one structure. We're able to pack up, with our air packs and breathe our bottled air. We're able to fully decontaminate after the fire from the toxic products of combustion. But these things are all wrapped up into one, and it's an entire street full of houses that's on fire being faced by these firefighters. And that's the type of thing we're facing today. Multiple structures and all of the contamination that comes along with it. So I know the public probably has 2 questions, and I'm going to hit them head on. Number 1, when can we go home? And the answer there is that we don't know. We are working hard to get these fires out and to make it safe for the public so that you can go home as quickly as possible. I know it's difficult to be out, and I know that because the majority of my staff, including me and my family, are also evacuated. So we're all in this together. As soon as we can get people back safely, we will. It will be a staged return. Not everyone will go back at the same time, but we'll work through it together. And I'm sure the second question people have is, when will we know about our house? When will we know how many houses were lost? I don't know that number. And I don't know that number because I haven't been able to go in and see it yet. We will start counting the number of houses when we stop fighting the fires that are burning today. As soon as we know, we'll share the information. We'll find a way to do it so that people get an official notification and they're able to begin to process it. To that regard, we are working today, immediately following this meeting, to begin to talk about building a dedicated force to go out on the ground and start to identify homes that were lost, and exactly what is happening out on the ground. But people need to understand that many of these areas aren't safe. There's power lines down, there's still fires burning in these places, there's all of the toxic hazards that are associated with a house that's burned down. We have to make sure that danger trees are assessed and fallen so that they don't fall on the staff that's out there trying to determine which homes are lost. So these are very complicated situations, but we're working diligently on them. I just ask for continued patience. So I want to talk a bit about a challenge that we're having today, and that is that there is a water outage in the Rose Valley neighborhood. The city of West Kelowna is announcing a do not consume order for all of the Rose Valley water system. Not all of the community, but for all of the Rose Valley water system, except for Sunnyside and Pritchard. Those remain on a boil water notice. This notice is being put in place out of an abundance of caution and due to the wildfire. The city is also immediately implementing stage 4 watering restrictions across the community. That means no outdoor use of water. Agricultural users are strongly encouraged to reduce their consumption where they can. Why are we doing this? Well, we're doing it for a couple of reasons. Number one, in the Rose Valley water system area, because of the number of structures that have burned, the water is freely flowing from those structures now. And what's happened is it's depleted the water supply in that area. So the reservoirs are no longer full, and we need to conserve what little water remains in those reservoirs for firefighting purposes. So often, people hear about these warnings or these orders and don't think it applies to them, but it does. I need the water in those reservoirs, so please reduce your consumption. Stop watering outside throughout the community, and if you're on the Rose Valley water system, do not consume the water there. I also want to let the public know that the area surrounding Fire Hall 31 on Old Okanagan Highway in downtown West Bank is very congested. There are 41 fire apparatus that are involved on the day shift alone. When we switch shifts, that number is much higher. So the public will notice streets closed, they'll notice congestion, they'll notice a ton of activity around there. Please be respectful of that and understand that it's important work. I want to thank everyone who's been involved. The list is too numerous now. So all I can say is thank you. All of you are part of the Army that is helping us get this done. What am I telling my firefighters? Be patient, be calm, cooperate, and do it safely. But those same things all apply to the public as well. So thank you to everyone. Know that we are all working hard on your behalf. I'm also happy to let the media know that I'll take questions outside after the media conference as well.
Thank you, Chief Brolin. And if we could ask Travis Whiting, the Kelowna Fire Department Chief, to come up next.
Sorry, busy days. So thank you for coming, and I'll touch base a little bit on what's happening in Kelowna and echo much of the words of Chief Brolin and my appreciation for what's being mustered on behalf of our communities from across BC to help us out here. Absolutely fantastic. I spent the morning down at our staging, meeting a lot of people I've met over the years through this industry and seeing them come in to help with multiple offers from across BC if we need more. Just a little update on fire activity overnight, both in Kelowna and in District of Lake Country. There was continued fire activity, significant fire activity, and significant fire response working through the night operations. Chief Lee isn't here with us right now. I'm in constant communication with him, and I can say that we're moving assets back and forth between the two of us. We have a really good structure, especially today, that we've been able to implement to ensure that the greatest need is being handled by the best resources for that fire. And we've got a good system in place. As Jason noted, a ton of resources coming into town today. We're staging them and then putting them into a place of greatest need. So quite a busy night, and crews did, again, it's unbelievable watching the work that's being done by our firefighters and the amount of protection being put in place, and very satisfied with the efforts that were put forth last night as far as what we achieved. Coming into today, still a lot of fire activity for the city of Kelowna. The fire moving north is being worked on in conjunction with assets from Lake Country up towards the north end of Glenmore. We're also working with BC Wildfire, obviously, and we have fixed wing and helicopters helping with that battle as well. On the south end of the fire, we have a bunch of assets being put in as far as structural protection and sprinkler systems into the Wilden area to ensure that we have that whole area hardened if that fire turns back on us in the coming days. As Jason noted, those first couple of days was the wind event and the pace of play. There was significant activity, and we were fighting hard. As we move into these next few days, I want to make sure that people don't underestimate that because we don't see the same level of winds, we still see a significant amount of fire activity. We still have a lot of potential, and we still have a lot of variables, and we are going to be dug in deep, working hard over the coming days, weeks, to protect all assets that we can and to do the best we can to protect our community. So I do appreciate the patience that we're seeing out there, the cooperation from those around us as our crews work to do what we can to protect our communities. We do need people to stay out of the way as much as possible. I know people want to see what's going on. I would encourage people to not come close to the fire areas. Road access is important when we need to move resources from one side to the other. I'm sure BC Wildfire will echo that we need people off the lake from where skimmers are working and helicopters. Any delay in getting water to a fire can have a significant impact on our operations. I think those are all I wanted to touch on for today. I will address structural loss within the city of Kelowna as well, because I know that'll be a question that comes up. There has been reports on social media and pictures posted. We have had structural loss within the city of Kelowna. We are not prepared to speak too far on that until we get a better assessment, which is so that we can speak accurately. My first priority when we deal with structural loss is to speak with those impacted directly first, rather than to broadcast more publicly before that. We have contained the structural loss to most of the area that you've seen on social media, and so we have been very, very successful in managing structural protection in the rest of the fire area at this point. But as I say, everything's subject to change based on fire behavior over the coming days. I think that's all I was going to touch on here for you, Jody. I will put a plug just so everyone, as Jason noted, the Emergency Operations Center for this entire event, for the entire Central Okanagan is operated out of a single entity, collaborating to ensure that we can move logistics, not just fire apparatus, but everything from food and supplies to mapping to all those other pieces. And I just want to put a shout out to all the people that are working in the Emergency Operations Center. They have been putting in, as we've been putting in these significant days on the ground, I have seen people in the emergency operations putting in 12, 14, 16-hour days to ensure that we get the information and logistical support that we require. And it's a critical piece of our operation moving forward. So I'll leave it at that for you, Jody. Thanks.
Thank you, Chief Whiting. And now we're actually going to move to Chief Ross Kocharovsky. He's our Northwest Side Fire Services and Rescue Chief, and he's joining us online. Ross, please go ahead.
Good morning, everyone. Jody, can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. I'm with you today from the Wilson's Landing Fire Department. I'm sorry I couldn't join you in there today, but we are small communities and they need to be out in the field. First off, I want to sincerely thank Wilson's Landing Fire Department and Northwest west side. So even though some of these members have lost their homes, they still remain dedicated to the community, and they show up every single day to protect their neighbors. I know the community is needing more information, and we will do our absolute best to get the community information as it comes in, but we are currently involved in a very active firefight, and it remains top of our priority to get you that information as it becomes available. You'll be able to get this information through courtemergency.ca. So just to, without echoing what the other fire chiefs have said, I'll talk a little bit about what we've been doing on the northwest side and within the Wilson Landing fire protection area. So yesterday, crews cleared northwest side and west side road to make sure that they can move back and forth from south to north, so that when fire activity is towards neighborhoods and small communities, we're able to action those properties and do everything that we possibly can during aggressive fire behavior, which we have been seeing off and on over the last 24 or 48 hours. Overnight, fire crews were actioning hotspots and ensuring that fire wasn't moving into these communities and affecting homes. Today, crews are currently actioning fire to the north of Wilson Landing, and it is still very active in there. We're seeing rank 3 fire behavior, but it's currently away from any of the communities along West Side Road. I know this is a trying time for everyone, and I know that you, especially those in the evacuated areas, need information and back into your homes as possible. It's a very, very fluid situation, and once we're able to do this, we will ensure that we let you know, and we'll do our best to get you back into the community, back into your homes, and provide you the information that you need so that you know how things are within your home and your communities. That's it from me right now.
Thank you, Chief Kocharovsky, pardon me. Next, we're going to ask RCMP Superintendent Kara Triance to join us.
Good morning, all. Thank you very much for the updates to my colleagues in the fire department. We are grateful to be working alongside of you, as well as the remaining community agencies that have been actively supporting this. Kelowna RCMP has been working very hard to ensure that we can provide an appropriate and coordinated regional response to this fire. The Kelowna Regional RCMP has been greatly supported by the BC RCMP, and as of this morning, there are 44 additional police officers on the ground since yesterday. We are, as my colleague said yesterday, Inspector McCandy, a nimble organization who has launched air resources from the Lower Mainland to bring in officers this morning, including additional police officers as far as Vancouver Island, Lower Mainland, and North District through our support of our neighboring communities. Greatly appreciate the chiefs of police in all of those communities who have released their officers to assist us in this unprecedented fire organization. And with that, we have a few areas that I want to focus on from a policing perspective as we begin to move into a continued and sustained firefight here. I won't speak much to the fire, as that has all been spoken to already in great detail this morning. But from a security perspective, we continue to support the fire chiefs as necessary with respects to door-to-door alerts and evacuations, and our emergency operations center as those orders are coming out. Securing evacuation routes, static and roving patrols, as well as making sure that we can do tactical evacuations where needed as we see spot fires popping up and areas that are needing additional support. I worked throughout the night last night with our officers, and there were multiple times last night when our officers were calling into the EOC, identifying spot patrols that we could quickly get to, and really appreciated the work of those officers throughout the night. And so if we could just ask at this time and remind our community of a few things that would really help us. One is that if you are ordered to leave, you are lawfully obligated to do so. We are asking that you comply with those orders. sending our law enforcement personnel and emergency response personnel back into evacuated, ordered areas to assist people to get out of areas is great risk to our officers and to first responders. And we're asking that you assist us in complying with that. As of this morning, we had 2 individuals trying to force their way back in to evacuated areas, and they were escorted out of that area. So please, our community safety remains our #1 concern, and if you can, I will reiterate what our fire chiefs have said, and that is remain patient. We will get you back into the areas as soon as possible, but until then, I'd ask that you cooperate at the roadblocks and at the security checkpoints with those who are providing the messaging to you. We had reports of people loitering in areas and or in behind barricades or security checkpoints. And I can assure you right now, we have no confirmed break-and-enters at this time. We encourage everyone to report any continued suspicious activity. We know that some people are observing activity through their home security, and we appreciate those calls to the police. If you see something, say something. You can call 911 and we will actively respond. We rely on your cooperation. Today and this morning, you're seeing a lot of increased air support from our fire as they begin to really hit those areas hard that our fire chiefs have spoken to. And I'm going to ask from a boater perspective, if you are out on the lake, when you see emergency aircrafts in an area, you must leave. We need clearance in that lake. Our RCMP boat is actively patrolling and monitoring Okanagan Lake, and those areas will remain fluid. So if we need to shift to the south end of the lake, that area will become the area that you need to move out of. If you are on the north end of the lake and you're seeing emergency response dipping into that lake to get that water that they need to actively fight this fire, you are not allowed to be in that area. So please leave your personal your personal watercrafts out of the area where we are actively fighting fires. We rely on your cooperation here. And the last thing I want to ask is we are seeing drones in the area, and I've had this multiple reports now this morning through fire chiefs, through our wildfire service, that there are drones flying through the emergency area. They are affecting our firefighting efforts. If a drone is in the area, you will ground a helicopter. We need that airspace. So it is illegal to fly a personal drone in an emergency situation where we are fighting fires. Please keep your personal drones out of the area so we can actively fight this fire, be nimble, be able to respond as we need to, and redirect that air support to wherever it's needed. That cooperation is greatly appreciated. And as we continue, I just want to mention that our BC RCMP will work with us throughout the day as we continue to brief on sustained and a scalable plan to ensure that our local officers are relieved of duties and getting adequate rest throughout this. We know that this is not a quick and short operation, and so we begin to put those plans in place right now and are ensuring that we have officers coming in and out of our community to continue to support operations. A lot of our police officers have been impacted by these evacuation orders as well, and we'll continue to support them through that. So thank you very much for your support in our law enforcement and firefighting personnel.
Thank you, Superintendent. And last but not least is Jason Bedell. He's our Emergency Support Services Supervisor.
Thank you, everyone, for being here today. I must start by recognizing the amazing outpouring of support from the community to our evacuees. It's been nothing short of staggering. Whilst we are more than appreciative of all the perishable food donations that are being dropped off at our support locations, it can be quite challenging to manage that. We would ask that those who are able and willing to donate to start thinking about donating to organizations such as the Food Bank or our local nonprofits. We work closely with them and we're able to support logistics through them. I completely understand that this is an extremely challenging situation for everyone involved. This incident is rapidly changing. I have to thank our evacuees for their patience. I've been on site every day now and I've observed it myself. The thankless work that's being done by our volunteers has to be celebrated. they continue to work through such an immense workload, I'm happy to say that we have secured provincial resources who will be available to us to increase our volunteer capacity over this weekend and the coming week, both through training of volunteers and through physical supports. Royal LePage Arena, located at 2760 Cameron Road in West Kelowna, was reactivated this morning at 9 a.m. ESS volunteers are available to those who are evacuated for registration and supports for referrals. We have activated our group lodging location at Prospera Place, which is located at 1223 Water Street in Kelowna. We supported approximately 134 evacuees last night. Evacuees who are seeking accommodation and who have nowhere else to go can attend this location, and you will be supported by the Canadian Red Cross. Given the immense pressures that our volunteers are facing, and not just here in the region, we're talking provincially wide, we continue to ask those who have the opportunity to stay with friends and families to please make plans to do so. Also, those on evacuation order who have home insurance policies, please connect with your insurance provider as soon as possible. You can determine with them the levels of supports that they're able to provide you. Lastly, I just want to reassure everyone listening here today in our community that we are doing everything in our power and will continue to do so to support you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Jason. That completes our presentations. We're going to go through a process similar to what we did yesterday with taking questions from the media now, but because we don't want to have people jumping up and down, we're going to start first with BC Wildfire and go back through the agenda, talk to one person at a time. So if I can ask Jared to come back up to the front, and if there's any questions for BC Wildfire, if you can step to the podium, and Haley will help to coordinate online. So Claudia, that'll be you first, and if you can just make sure you push the button in when you're speaking and then push it again when you've stopped speaking, and we'll just take one question at a time from people.
I'd like to get a sense of the fire activity overnight in McDougall Creek. It is being estimated at 10,500 hectares, but I know that it is a lot larger than that. I know visibility is making sizing it and mapping it quite difficult. Can you give us a sense of the growth and what kind of fire activity we saw overnight and what we're expecting throughout the day?
Sure, and you're absolutely right. 10,500 hectares is an estimate. It's likely larger than that. So correct. Due to visibility and other challenges, we just simply haven't been able, primarily due to smoke. And I'll be honest, priorities of, like Chief Brolin mentioned, our primary priority of providing that direct support to firefighting efforts. But it is in our plan today to get a more accurate map out, to have that size updated. So certainly, I encourage any increase to come in through BC Wildfire Service info to right out to the incident. I can provide the contacts here after as well to our information officer tied to the incident. As for overnight fire behavior, subdued compared to the previous night. Now, that's not to take away from what it actually was, because in any other overnight condition, folks would consider it significantly higher than normal, which is what it was. In an intensity class ranking system, the fire behavior that we saw was at the intensity class rank 2 and 3, primarily moving downslope in that kind of Smith Creek, Bartley Road kind of areas. In the overnight firefighting effort specifically, we had 60 structure protection personnel and RCMP working overnight, as well as some BC Wildfire Service overnight ops officers coordinating some efforts. What we're anticipating today is continued warm and dry conditions. We're still anticipating some northerly winds coming down the valley. We're not expecting the bigger gusts that we saw that really drove this fire 2 days ago, but we will still see some elevated winds in that 15 to even 25 and maybe even slightly higher in a localized area, depending on the terrain and topography of the specific location, because it does have a significant impact on wind speeds. That's kind of what we'd be expecting today from a fire behaviors perspective.
Thank you. Haley, is there an online question that we have for BC Wildfire?
There is. So if I can have Jordan Tucker, you can unmute your mic and ask your question from CBC. Can you hear me okay? Sorry.
So I was just hoping to have an update on the road conditions in and out of the area.
And if you could turn your mic off.
Yeah, road conditions in and out of the area, I guess there's many. It varies. Road conditions can vary from 4x4 accessible to not accessible. We have been seeing some debris and downslope rolling and that type of stuff. Of course, as Chief Brolin mentioned, the biggest impact, probably the largest impact, is like down power lines, trees who've had root systems and deep burning conditions resulting in leaning trees, fallen trees, blocked roads, those types of things. So roads in and out of the fire area, primarily and almost solely being traveled by emergency services personnel, varying conditions.
Thank you. And next question at the podium, if you can turn the mic on, please. I just see the red light. Yep.
Yeah, Richard Sis from Global News. Can you give me a sense of the number of evacuations in this area for Kelowna, West Kelowna, this region, in terms of properties as well as individuals?
I will, for a specific number, I'll have to get our info back to you because that number has been dynamic with orders and alerts being put on and rescinded in the overnight and into the evening period, but it's upwards of 2,000.
Just let me double check. There's anybody else online? No? Okay, please go ahead.
Cindy White from Castanet News. The forecast today, we have a high of 26, it's back up to 30 tomorrow. Is this the day that you need to get things done?
In the context of our last few days and the extreme temperatures we've had over the last week in the drying trend, today would affectionately be called a good firefighting day. You know, those temperatures in the high 20s, mid 20s, you know, our humidities are still down in the critically low ranges in the mid-teens to kind of around there. Those are still very good burning conditions. But in the context of the Okanagan Valley here, today's a good firefighting day. And in the overnight period, we've had a number of BC Wildfire Service crews be repositioned and mobilized from the province down to here to continue and bolster our efforts. Our daytime firefighting numbers are over 200 for personnel on the ground. I failed to mention this in the initial part, but we're also mobilizing line locators and beginning the construction of heavy equipment, control lines and containment lines as well today. So to reinforce your point, yeah, it's a good firefighting day. It's a day where we can roll equipment and crews and have them feel confident in some of the efforts that they're doing out there.
Thank you. I think that looks like that's it for Jared. Thank you very much, Jared. And Travis Whiting will now come up and answer questions.
Just real quick in relation to evacuation orders and alerts, those are managed through the Regional Emergency Operations Center and are mapped. And as always, I really encourage people to go to courtemergency.ca. It has absolutely the most accurate and timely information. It's where all the information originates, and the map in there can be zoomed down to the address level. So if you have questions around your own property being evacuation alert, it's the most efficient and effective way to get information on that. But it's also where it's also the official source of information regarding alerts and orders. As far as numbers right now, it appears that we have, and I'm assuming those are properties, Jody? Property, 10,700 roughly homes under order across the region, and about 9,500 homes under alert across the region. Again, as noted, a dynamic situation, but it's been stable, this morning so far.
Thank you. We'll go to the podium for a question for Chief Whiting.
Hi there, it's Penny from CTV News. I'm just wondering if you can give us some insight into the strategy and the challenges, like once you've got an interface fire like this wildland fire that now it's burning in residential neighborhoods, does it get entrenched? Is it that much harder to fight because you're kind of going between homes and there's trees and all sorts of stuff? And I know a lot of people here are fire smart, but if you could give us some insight into what happens when the flames are already in neighborhoods and how much harder that is to fight, that'd be helpful.
So I'll jump on one word there, fire smart. Obviously significant, and any efforts that were made prior to this around fire smarting people's homes has been beneficial to my crews. It's certainly when homes are not fire smarted, it creates a more complex challenge for us to navigate. These types of fires are different than our day-to-day for sure as structural firefighters. We're used to working off roads and driveways and in urban areas. However, City of Kelowna firefighters are very much trained, as are the structural departments across this region, trained in wildland firefighting. So it is something that in the central Okanagan, given the risk we have, we do a lot of specialized training to ensure that we're comfortable working in the interface in the WIWI areas. As well, we carry through the summer a large contingent of specialized gear that matches what BC Wildfire does, so we can work interoperably with them. When it comes to actually fighting these fires, it's one of those ones where everyone has their part. Our structural crews have a role to play within structural defense and protection, and BC Wildfire works with us more in the black and in the areas of the wildland, and we kind of meet up together where they interface. So it's a bit of a seamless thing. It is a very coordinated effort, and as Jason noted, then you bring in air support, which is incredibly efficient and effective for us in these operations. So yeah, it is different, but it's not something we're not ready for or trained for. Our crews are trained and experienced and ready to go on these types of events.
Is there anybody else that would like to ask a question of Chief Whiting? Okay, we'll swap the spots.
You bet.
Chief Rowlands. Go ahead at the podium when you're ready.
I don't know if this is for you or maybe the court people, but Colin asked me to ask this because of the confusion last night in the southern half of Shannon Lake. The evacuation order went on and it came off. It was an alert. Some people tried to go back. RCMP turned them around. Can we comment on what the situation is now for that area?
So I'll certainly leave that for the capable staff from the EOC. But what I will say is that the ask from the field, from me as in unified command with the Wildfire Service of our EOC, is unprecedented. Like, to continually stream a rapidly growing evacuation alert and order over a number of hours with a fast-moving fire is a very complex operation. And what these guys are getting from me is often, a line marked on a map with a Sharpie marker saying, I got to get this out and I need to do it now. And that's being sent, through technology over to the EOC. And they put it, no doubt, on the pile of previous requests that I had sent in, in the previous hour that they are still working through to process. So, it should be said that we have a very sophisticated and well-evolved emergency program, but the things that we're asking to be done are really on a scale that is pretty unprecedented.